How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I am super excited because today we are finally going to get to start working on the S2000 in terms of using the machine to go ahead and start polishing the car. I'm going to start off with doing a compound on the car. The compound is what's going to help us go ahead and take out all the heavy scratches and swirls and also some of the oxidation that's on the paint. And after that, I'm going to follow it up with a polisher or swirl removal. In this case, I'm going to be using a lot of the Chemical Guys products, and I'm going to show you what they are in just a second. Now, before I begin this video, I can't stress enough to you guys that I am not a detail professional. I'm just some guy trying to polish this car and make it look really nice. With that being said, you have to be extremely careful whenever you're using a machine, especially on your car, because the chances of you messing up the paint are actually pretty high. Well, they're high in the sense depending on what machine you use. In my particular case, I'm using the Porter Cable 7424 dual action polisher. That particular polisher, since it is a dual action polisher, the chances of me harming the paint are very low. But there's always a chance that you can mess it up if you don't know what you're doing. For you guys who are using a rotary buffer or something that's not a dual action polisher, you have to be extremely careful because you can burn the paint, and you definitely don't want to do that because that will end up sending the car to the paint shop to go ahead and get that whole entire panel fixed, and trust me, you don't want to do that. Now let's go ahead and go over the materials that we're going to be using. So the first thing we want to cover is what I'm going to be using in terms of the compound, and I'm using Chemical Guys V32 compound here. I'm going to be using this particular one with a combination of the orange pad that I have from Chemical Guys as well to go ahead and take out the majority of the imperfections on the paint. After I do the entire car, I'm going to hit it with a VSS swirl removal. This is a polish. This is what's going to help me get out the very fine little details that maybe the V32 left behind, because this is extremely coarse and rough on the paint. So it's going to do the majority of the damage in terms of taking out all the swirls, all the oxidation, all the watermarks, everything. This right here is kind of like a final step. The polisher, what it does, it just refines whatever the V32 does and makes the paint really shine. Now, in terms of what pads I'm going to be using, as I mentioned before, for the V32, I'm going to be using the orange pad here. As you can see, the orange pad is designed for medium to heavy cutting, and that's exactly what the V32 does. It does kind of like a medium, but not actually, it's kind of like a heavy cutting type of thing for the compound. And after that, once I'm done with the V32 and the orange pad, I'm going to go ahead and be using the green polishing pad with the VSS to get that ultimate sleek, swirl-free finish. Now, the last couple of things I'm going to be going over are these particular items I'm going to be using in addition to the pads and also the polishes. And what I have here is a pad cleaner, and also have a pad conditioner. Now, the pad conditioner is what I'm going to be using first because that's going to allow me to go ahead and prime the pad by spraying this on there to get like a kind of lubricated surface on it. And this one over here, I'm going to be using in combination with a special pad cleaner that I have here that allows me to go ahead and instantly clean the pads and dry them out without having to wait very long. As a matter of fact, it only takes a couple seconds to clean and dry the pads with that system that I have. Now, this is the pad cleaning system I'm going to be using to clean and also dry my pads with. Inside, it has fresh, clean water. All you have to do is press down and make sure that the pad spins on top of this with the machine. And you can also take this part out, put it right here, and you can dry the pad that way as well. Now, here is the hood of the S2000. I'm going to back up and show you guys. As you can already kind of see around this area here, you can see some haziness to it. There's some gray areas. You'll start to see some scratches and swirls, especially right here. I don't know how that happened, but that's going to be taken off in this video. And we can kind of go around. You'll see oxidation. You see a lot of this just white stuff. There's some water spots and some other little stuff here. Like, I don't even know what that is. As a matter of fact, I think that's bird poop. That's probably bird poop. But all these things that you see here on the hood and the rest of the car, that's all going to be taken off with the compound. Once I'm done using the compound, I'm going to go ahead and use the swirl removal to kind of go ahead and remove any and all swirls that might be left in the car to finish everything that I started and make sure that I have a nice, beautiful, swirl-free surface. Last thing I'm going to do here is put a strip of tape right down the middle of the hood so I can show you guys the difference between a polished hood and a non-polished hood. All right, so here we are. We're about to start doing this process, and the first thing you're gonna want to do is you want to make sure you go ahead and shake up your compound really good. And you're going to put about 5 to 6 drops here. Now I have my pad primer here. I'm going to go ahead and shake it up a little bit. And I'm going to spray just a little bit like that so you can go ahead and get the pad nice and primed. You want to make sure that you have this cable over your shoulder so as not to mar the paint. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on setting 1. And I'm going to start applying this here evenly. So let me go ahead and start doing this really quick. And I'm going to turn on the machine and apply this evenly throughout the surface. Alright, now that I have the product nice and evenly spread out throughout the surface, I'm going to go ahead and crank it up to the highest setting on this dual action polisher. The highest setting that I have on this dual action polisher is setting 6. So I'm going to apply about moderate pressure to the paint, and I'm going to start about over here. Always make sure that whenever you're using this to keep moderate pressure down, and don't remove this until everything is done and over with. So once this stops spinning, then you can go and remove it. There we go. So now that I set my machine to the side, I'm going to go ahead and inspect this area. I'm going to go ahead and use a flashlight to see if I have any imperfections still in the paint. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down with a clean microfiber towel. Gently just kind of wipe it off to inspect the area. And after just doing the first pass with just the compound, I'm looking at the paint and it's already a million times better than what it already was. I'm going to go ahead and use this light and see if there's any other imperfections I might catch. As far as I'm concerned, there are some swirls still left, but this is just for the hard spots to remove. I'm using the compound to go ahead and get all the deep scratches out, and I'm going to follow up with the BSS to go and remove everything else out of the way. But so far, I like the results I'm seeing, and I'm going to go ahead and continue with another pass here in this section and finish it off and continue doing the rest of the hood. Just for comparison's sake, I'm going to show you guys this side of the hood, the side we didn't touch just yet. So I'm going to show you everything here, just kind of get like a good idea of how it looks like. If we keep on looking over here, you can see all the haziness, all the swirls and scratches and some other little bits of imperfections here. All right, so there's that. And there's the tape down the middle. I'm going to come over to this side and you're going to see the difference already. Boom. Look at the difference between this side and this side. You can tell that this side has been compounded and polished, but if I were to go back here, just pay attention to that light. You can see all these imperfections, swirls, scratches, haziness, oxidation. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this tape right here so you guys can see what happens after you compound and polish your car, and you can see a major difference between both sides. So let's go and take this tape off. And you can tell almost immediately, it's like night and day. So one side is all hazy and scratched up, and the rest is all nice and clear. All this other stuff right here, these little dots here and there, that's actually caused from rock chips. There's nothing I can do to go ahead and fix that. The only way to fix that really is to either get a stronger buffer or maybe even repaint the car. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but let's just kind of keep on going and looking at the difference here. This is a scratch I do need to compound a lot closer and pay attention to. So I have to go back and redo that when I do the touch up for both sides. It's clearly night and day. Like there is a definite line between the side that's been polished and the side that's not been touched. All right, you guys, this is where I'm gonna end the video because now I have to really focus on getting the car done. It's gonna take me a long time just so I can compound the car and then to go ahead and do the polishing of the car. So it's gonna be a while before I'm even done so I can move on to the glazing portion of the detail video. But of course, if you guys have any questions for me about how to do any of the steps that I showed you today, feel free to leave your questions and comments down below in the comment section. And if some of you guys have some more and better experience on detailing the car, feel free to leave some comments and feedback in the comment section down below. If you guys are new to the channel and if you like today's video and some of the content that I have on my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you like today's video and all of the steps that I covered in today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.